Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I want to show you guys the Apple TV 4 kind of as a full overview, go through most of the stock options and new menus, kind of give you guys a feel for if you're looking to purchase this device, what you're going to get. I gotta say I've been using Apple TVs for quite a few years now, and I really enjoy the updated interface that this brought, and I think that it's a really good buy for most users. Kind of starting off, this is the main home screen here, so you can see it's a lot brighter and more white silver I guess, but it really kind of gives a nice updated feel while keeping with the same Apple TV experience that we've always had that kind of worked great. So it doesn't complicate things too much, although I wish there was an ability to do folders, and in the latest update, once that's released, there'll be an option for that too. So this is the new menu. You can see that it actually is pretty smooth and quick moving around with using the Siri remote and touchpad here. I can really jump around the interface. It doesn't feel laggy, and moving around apps kind of works the exact same way. Get them in wiggle mode. You can throw stuff around. Now I noticed this, you have to go a little slower and stuff like that, but you can see the ability to almost cover one app, so you'll be able to put folders down. To drop it, same thing, you would just tap again, and then to remove the apps, you can go into the settings and you can delete some of the ones that are available, like here if I wanted to remove VLC or something like that. And speaking of the settings, we'll jump into the settings. So looks very similar to the Apple TV 3, and kind of keeping just with an updated theme. And I noticed too that not many people mentioned the Apple font is actually being used on the new Apple TV 4, which makes it nice to read. The only other real option that's changed in here, obviously apps is a new option, and this will give you the option to like keep updated apps, or you can change some of the stuff with the default applications like your location, and even apps that you install, like say VLC here. I can actually access a lot of the options that you can get normally within the app. You can also are incorporated into the settings, so that's kind of cool, just like you'd see on iOS, for example. The only other change was really in general with the accessibilities menu, and then of course the Siri menu as well, although it doesn't really provide you much with just an on and off. In the accessibilities, there wasn't too much interesting in here neither, although the bold text definitely stands out for users who have a hard time reading small print, so that's easier for them. And then if you don't like the motions, like you see how it's really bouncy and movey around, you can actually turn off, go to, oh, if I can get it, reduce motion. There we go. So you can see here it completely just, now it's just more flat. It doesn't feel as well, motiony, and I kind of like having that on. It really gives a nice feel to the menu. So there's screensavers now. I know that there's been a lot of people who've shown the screensavers, but here's just one of them. It's supposed to download one every 30 days, so that's pretty neat. You can kind of change it up and stuff like that. I have the screensaver set to just come on after, oh, here you go, 5 minutes, and then even if there's music playing in the background, and it'll change it monthly. So you can actually, I believe you can change that to monthly, weekly, or daily. They're about 600 megs every time you change it. So I've got mine set to monthly. I don't mind the one that's up there now. And then, so yeah, that's kind of basically it for settings. I won't go through everything because, you know, it's the same as it was on the original Apple TV all the way up to the Apple TV 4. Now, another stock app that I've used quite a bit is Computer. So this didn't really see much of an update besides the GUI update. The only thing that I noticed here is by show, like when you're bouncing around with the Siri remote, it's really easy to get stuck in unwatched or date by instead of just by show, which is the easiest way to browse this unless you use playlists. And this is all the media coming off of my other Mac here, and that's on iTunes. So this is streaming off of iTunes here. I also do have the Plex server, which I find to be a lot easier, and it's nice that that's now incorporated. The one thing, the biggest change to the Apple TV so far has been the App Store, and that's actually where like Plex comes from, where you can see even here I have VLC, I have speed test. So I'm just going to jump into the application here, and show you guys around a little bit. I was actually playing in here earlier, but basically you'll be greeted to your featured screen, and it feels a lot like it does on iOS. In fact, it does the exact same layouts where you can kind of browse back and forth, see the different applications. You can go up into the top bar here. We have the top charts, we have the categories, and then purchases. You can see what apps you've already purchased, and then search. You're also able to search. So I was search speed test here, and you can see. So it's definitely the beginning. I haven't found too many useful apps yet, besides obviously the main few like VLC or Plex, but there hasn't been anything else really that stood out. Speed test was kind of cool, but I'll do another video on that later. Another big change is now the search option. So this actually gives you the ability to search through all the applications, and you can find all of the media that's available and trending too. So it's kind of a way to get what you're looking for all on the Apple TV, which is pretty neat. So it incorporates what would be like Spotlight for the Apple TV. And then of course too, we have Siri. Hi Siri. Which I have played with a bit, but I haven't found too many kind of cool quirks besides the few that Siri can already do. So like, what's the weather look like? And then it'll tell me the weather in my location. So that's pretty neat. And you swipe down, you seen the gesture there, I swipe down to dismiss it. So it's going to give you a lot more options to play with it. I'm definitely going to do a longer video more in depth of how to use like Siri and everything else. So this is just kind of an overview. Now if you use purchase movies or TV, you can see they really did kind of change this up the same sort of way it's laid out in iTunes now. It does take a little longer to load, but it is a lot easier to search and get to the shows that you'd maybe want to purchase. I don't have any through iTunes specifically, but yeah, so you can see the menu once again, just like the App Store, very, very similar and really nice. It loads really quickly and everything seems to be really smooth. It's the information's laid out really nice when you actually go into say here, and you can see. So the only thing I noticed is a little slow opening stuff. So if I like jump into another episode here, it kind of gives you this animation and this load, but I don't know, maybe if I do a comparison, I'll do a comparison back and forth from the Apple TV 3 to the Apple TV 4. But yeah, so we'll go back in here, and that was TV. So movies is basically the exact same thing you just seen, but through movies instead of TV shows. So I won't really spend too much time in here, besides just kind of showing you guys like the ratings for the movies and stuff like that, which I'm having. There we go. So exactly the same as you would have seen there. So yeah, besides that, there isn't really much else to show you guys. Music, podcasts still work the same way. I'm not too sure if I have any podcasts in here, but I can search. Podcasts are used by lots and lots of people, so all of your podcasts, my podcast, once you're signed in, will sync up to this. And then again, the exact same sort of menu that you've seen with other applications. So not really a big difference here. Just to show you guys quickly too, in the search field, if you're using one of the remotes, this is the keyboard. So the keyboard it does make it easier to move around, but I still find it to be, difficult if you're spelling out something really big here. But if I'm like hi and then space, so I guess you can type a lot faster than you could on the other Apple TV, just because of the swipe back and forth motions, which let you do that quicker. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is the Apple TV 4 worth purchasing? I definitely think it was. It was a good investment. It's going to last a few years, for me at least. I don't know if Apple plans on releasing another one. I don't think I would be so keen to jump, as this was already a pretty big jump, and they'd have to really do something more than just 4K video. So the Apple TV does 1080p. 60 frames a second, or 60 hertz, I guess this one's up to. That's what I'm recording off of. And yeah, this is a 32 gig model. You can get them all the way up to 64 gigs. And yeah, guys, so what do you think? Is the Apple TV worth buying? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again next time.